Here with Miami coach Anthony Noreen ahead of this weekend's home series against number 4 Western Michigan, and we'll take some questions.
Coach, before we look ahead, this past weekend, your guys up in Duluth gave it all they had, right to the very bitter end, both nights, overtime, both nights. So you and I have talked a little bit about it the last few weeks about the fight that these guys are still showing, not mailing it in whatsoever. So I think it's a testament to what they're doing. So kind of your thoughts now as you look back on the Duluth weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a sign of growth. Again, we've talked about we're going to continue to push and we're going to continue to practice and we're going to continue to work and do video and focus on development, all the things we have all year until the very end. It's one thing for us to do. That's another for the guys to buy in. And I thought that was probably from start to finish the most complete weekend we've played all year. I just thought there was just a good way right from when we got there in our Thursday practice. I thought it was as efficient as we've been in a Thursday. I thought our meetings were good on Friday. I thought we had a really good start to the game on Friday. And I thought we were good right till the very finish on Saturday night. And I think, in a normal year, if you said, hey, you're going into Duluth and you before the season starts, say, hey, you're going to go there and you're going to get points both nights. I think you'd take it. I think if you go in either one of those nights and you're going in the third period and you're down a goal both games and you find a way to get back in it and push it overtime, you take it. At this time right now, obviously we just, you want more. You want to finish one out. And you felt like certainly there were opportunities both nights to win the games, and that's kind of what stings a little bit. But as far as the style of play, as far as the commitment, as far as how hard we played, as far as just the honest truth is going back and looking at the metrics of the game and the scoring chances and the time of possession and all those things that really add up to giving you a chance. I mean, it's as good as we've been for sure.
And you got strong play from Bruno Braveras and net. And this game, I guess it's all about confidence. So, but it just seemed like every save he made played with more confidence from Friday night all the way through the end Saturday.
Yeah, and I talked about how well we played and how committed we were. I think, the key, listen, in our league, if you look around, like the goaltending is elite. You need to be excellent there every night in our league to have a chance. And I thought Bruno was excellent both nights, and so was their guy. I mean, those two games, that they were as evenly fought battles of goaltending matches that we've seen, and good for Bruno, good for him, because again, the only thing you wish is that we would have finished off. And even in the shootout, I know like the shootout's a shootout, but you have 4 chances on your stick on a breakaway to go in to finish that. Shoops gets a breakaway in overtime. Cass has got the puck on his stick, probably your best shot with 4 seconds left in regulation, one on goalie. And so there were cracks, and we're just going to keep working at those things. You got to keep working to put yourself in those situations. And I thought the amount of scoring chances we got in those games, in the very small amount we gave up, it's easy to just focus on those chances, but it's like, how did you get there? What caused it? Why did we have so many chances? Why did we give up so few against a very good hockey team? I thought it was just kind of the mix of how connected we played as a team and how committed we were as a team, and really just the mindset of the group, which was, they were two just really enjoyable games to be around this group because of how hard they fought.
This predates your arrival here, but overtimes have been a little tough of late for the squad. So, what does it take to turn the tide on those overtime periods? You're getting yourself in those positions, and you mentioned the breakaway, you mentioned the opportunities, but what's it take to break through in that overtime?
Yeah, because I think that was our 7th this year. We've been in going back to the Ferris series, and to not win one of them. That's a 50-year games. It's a big portion of your schedule, and it's a big swing. And when you're in things tight, like it makes a huge difference. I mean, look at the NHL standings. You look at those things. Like it's usually what it comes down to in the last couple of playoff spots. So I think it's a couple things. You continue to work on it. And if you watch us practice, I mean, the amount of situations we do that are 3-on-3, like it's a lot. But I also think the honest truth is the less space there is, the more skill comes out. And if you look at some of the guys, a Plant that makes a play in the game-winning goal, we need, as a program, to have those type of players playing in Oxford with a Miami jersey on. We need to start attracting and be a destination place for high-end NHL draft pick, pro prospect, elite junior players, guys that play at the U.S. national program, elite players in the USHL and CHL. There's no reason we shouldn't be. There's just absolutely no reason with everything we have here in this university and the setup we have in our athletic department, the support we get, the great conference, but everything across the board. You look at the walls and the history and the guys that have played here in the room. We're sitting in here in the trophy. We need to start attracting those difference makers. We need those guys. Now we need them to be great student athletes and to be, good teammates and all the things we talk about. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just need that game breaker and that guy to make a play, and that's just the honest truth.
We look to this weekend and welcoming in one of the top teams in the country in Western Michigan, and you've seen them once before. But based on last weekend's intensity, and you mentioned the complete weekend, what kind of intensity, what kind of passion do you expect from your guys this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's meaningful. It's senior night. It's the last go for a lot of these guys. It's your last home games. I don't know. I can't remember ever being part of where when your last game is going to be. And I would say yesterday's practice, today's practice, we almost laughed and we're like, man, like these guys are dialed. Like they're dialed in. Like our practices were efficient. They were crisp. There was good energy. Like it was what it should look like and what it should feel like. I also think we know, like, listen, and this is no knock on any other team because we've played some tremendous teams this year. But this Western Michigan team, like this of any team we've seen, and obviously you're there and it was their crowd in there, but this is as complete of a team, as we've seen, and obviously some others that are right there. But this team they're for real. And I would be shocked if they don't make a run, not just in our league, but in the NCAA tournament. And you have an opportunity to make a statement, and that's individually. For a lot of our 50 years and our seniors, like these guys all want to play. They want to continue. They want to get right back to playing immediately. So opportunity for them to showcase themselves, and then no one wants to go in the summer on a bad note. And usually you're going into the summer on a bad note regardless because you're losing in playoffs. This is a time where you could actually go in, not making it, but on a high note. And very rarely does that happen. And a lot of people's parents in town. There's just a lot of things that I think are going to add up to some emotion this weekend for sure, which I think is good. But I also think it's something that there should be some pride in, certainly.
And it's a unique time as well this weekend, senior weekend. Basketball Friday night is also doing their senior night, so we want people after basketball is done, if they're going there first, come on over here, catch the end of the game here. And then Saturday night, 8 players are going to get a chance to skate around one last time here at the Goggin. And just when you look back, it's kind of a unique scenario too, because Dylan Moulton kind of brought it up to us that none of these guys started at Miami, but yet they're here now. What do you think this means to these guys there to get that one last chance and knowing it's going to be the last game?
Yeah, and I think this far predates me. Like, this is a place that guys love. They just do. And that's I should say guys, girls, people that have been part of this university love this place. Whether that's the academic side, the social side, the athletic side, the family atmosphere here, like the town, like there's something special here. I've felt that from the first time I've come on this campus. So I think, that there's a lot of pride within these guys. And also, things start becoming real. Like for the guys going out the door, you go and play pro hockey. And obviously pro hockey is amazing, but it's a little bit different than being a student athlete and in representing your school. And, it's totally a business. And, you come to the rink and guys are hustling out and they got their wife and kids and they're worried about it. And it's let's get through this and get out of here. And it's not, practice ends, let's go to Chipotle and let's go grab this and let's hang out with the boys. And it's just a little bit different. And you always hear people say this should be the best time of your life. I think these, for some of the guys, become the reality of like, man, what a special ride this has been, even though maybe I didn't get the results I want. But these guys that I've become brothers with and the times that I've had and being in this locker room and around the supporters we've had and things like that. So I'm sure all those things are going through. But at the end of the day, you want to perform in the hockey game. And you're going against a team that, listen, they don't want to slip up either, I'm sure. They want to come and they want to be sharp going into their playoff run. And, it's a really good challenge for us.
And one last thing, it's a unique scenario, and this is the last year of the extra 5th year for players, the COVID year. So having a chance to coach guys, I mean, you got Dylan Moulton and Hampus Reichwitz. They've been here their whole 5 years, so and they won't skate Saturday night, but obviously we've done a lot to honor them over the last 2 years. But then you bring in guys like Filion and Colby Ambrosio, and those guys getting a chance to play a 5th year. What's that like to coach those guys with that much experience?
Yeah, you lean on them. You talk about those 2 guys specific. I mean, Philly's done something that none of us have done, and we all want to do. And Colby's been there in that final game, a place we none of us have been and we all want to be in. So you draw on that. What have they learned? What have they seen? And a big part of it is like, man, like there's no egos here. We want to get better. Is there something you see here that we could be doing better in any in any facility here, like in the way we practice and the way we train and how we just travel, every single thing, like, because we want to make sure we're putting our guys in the best possible position to get those experiences one day. So you try and learn from those guys. You also want to make it, you want to give them a best chance in their last year to move on and play hockey and develop them. And man, again, I've said it a million times this year, but it's something that I and we will never forget. The guys that came and believed in this and knew what they were getting into and knew this was, hey, we're in a total rebuild here, but we're going to come be a part of this for a year. We're going to try and help kickstart this thing. And, and again, and for the guys going out the door that have been here, even a Sully that's been here a couple of years, but like, Hamp and Moulton, those guys and Vito, like it's this place means a lot to those guys. And that's pretty special. It's one of the cool things about college sports.
Yeah, and you talk about Filion, you talk about national championship, just clarify.
Yep.
Sullivan, you mentioned him just a second ago. He won a national championship, and Ambrosio played in one last year, too. So that's what you want those guys to help kind of instill as you move forward.
Absolutely. And this is going to be an ever-growing, ever-changing process here as we get going. But we're like I said, there's no egos. We want to learn. We want to get better. We're observant of everything, constantly evaluating not just ourselves but other teams and other programs in order to do everything possible and like maximize what this program's capable of. And we think that there is a lot here to be capable of just about anything.
Here with Dylan Moulton ahead of this weekend's series against number 4 Western Michigan. We'll take some questions.
Most before we talk about the approaching end of the season, last weekend, the effort you guys put in. Amazing. I mean, it was such a great weekend up in Duluth. Came up just a little bit short, but the fight that you guys are still showing at this point, despite everything that's kind of going on around. Tell me a little bit about kind of how you felt about that and what you felt about your teammates and the effort put in.
Well, it was great. I mean, obviously the situation of what's upcoming is, known, and we weren't going to stop playing until, the last horn on Saturday night. So I think, the team showed that this weekend, and there's still a little bit of turning this place around and building a culture and playing the way we want Miami to play. And, that's not going to stop just because of the situation we're in. And I think that the team kind of showed that this weekend. Obviously, it would have been nice to, finish one of those off. But I think you're still, seeing some growth with the guys as we're even coming down to the end here.
I want to look back over the course of your career. Starting off in the pod, things were weird. Things were different. Things. It's not a normal start to a hockey career, to a collegiate career. As you approach the end of your Miami career, you look back at the last 5 years and where things started and where things are today, and sort of the future outlook. So just from your perspective, tell me a little bit about the pod and starting there and how things have progressed over the years.
Yeah, I mean, the pod's definitely a crazy thing to come into, not knowing what college hockey's like, especially. And, there was that big gap that I think some people forget about of when I ended up playing my last game of junior to when I played my first game here. And it was a long time in between games, and jumping right into playing NCHC. And I mean, you guys know playing NCHC is some of the best players you're going to play against in the country. And I remember being really overwhelming. Like one, I haven't been in a game, game speed, takes a minute to get used to. And yeah, it was overwhelming, but I mean, it's, you sit here 5 years later, it's a cool experience to share, especially I live with Hampus now. So, and, we're coming to the end here, which last year there was a little bit of uncertainty of what I'm going to do, but now I know this is it. There's no opportunity for me to come back. And so yeah, me and Hampus have definitely probably had some conversations over the last couple of weeks. I mean, even Duluth, it was one of those last road trip kind of thing. And yeah, it's bittersweet, but yeah, the journey's been definitely not unique, I should say. But I've loved every bit of it. So
you mentioned Hampus, and you guys have grown close over the years, and obviously living together now. He, at the start of the pod, he had been taking classes remotely and wasn't even in the United States. Was back in Sweden, and then gets the call. Hey, we're gonna get going. There was a lot of uncertainty before the pod was organized. And he gets the call like, "Hey, we need you. Let's go. It's time. It's go time." And then his first experience coming coming to the States is going off to a hotel in Omaha. So how did you and the rest of the team help him kind of get his feet under him? And he made an immediate impact. But how were you able to sort of help him, and how'd that help you guys grow close over the years?
He didn't need too much. And Hampus is I think it's just the type of person he is, and his character. He's just good at adapting to his situation that he's in, and I think he's shown that even just through the 5 years of stuff that's going on. Like, he doesn't let anything kind of shake him. And I mean, he came in and obviously he's been the type of player he has been, and I mean, he didn't. I think it helped a little bit having Ludes, another Swede, to know him and everything. But yeah, I do remember that the freshmen had hopped in a group chat because we had a class together. Like, I was taking classes at home too, and we were like, doing the Zoom calls and everything, and definitely it was a crazy time for sure.
You talked about the uncertainty after last season and the unique opportunity to get that fifth year because of the COVID situation. So what went into your decision-making process to want to come through with changes going on around the program and then turn around and be the leader that you've kind of been building yourself to be now this fifth year?
Yeah, I mean, it was just meeting with Noreen, and, there was individual things that he said, to help my game. And then obviously there was a point of just feeling unfinished business here. And obviously this year's gone the way it's gone, and the time that I've been here has gone the way it's gone, results-wise. But, turning a program around, there's a culture change that needs to happen and everything. And, someone was telling me sometimes things are going to go, might get a little worse before it gets better. And it's obviously been tough. This year's been tough, but, being a leader, being an older guy, I've wanted to be a part of the change, and it's something I feel like I have in a way accomplished of helping with the flipping a culture around, and I guess showing younger guys what it's to be like on a day-to-day basis. And like I've said before, I'm not a hoorah guy. I kind of leave that for some of the other guys, and just try to lead by example, and hopefully I can have that touch on this place, and when this place gets back to what it's supposed to be, I can feel that I had a little bit of a touch on that.
And when you look back and you see the program building, and a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, and you see the program get back to where it was, how does that make you feel on like that impact that you're leaving it, and how you were able to sort of set this foundation leading into that?
Yeah, I mean, it'll make me feel good, but at the end of the day, it'll be whatever. I'm really excited for the future of this place, with what the staff has in mind, what they're going to do. It makes me really excited to be an alumni, and come back and years down the line and come see this place be what it's supposed to be. And I'm looking forward to seeing that happen.
So you and Hampus are not going to be doing the skate around, the senior honors. You got that last year. So what have you kind of told some of the guys that are going to be going through that this year when we do that coming up on Saturday night?
Don't trip. No, yeah, it's a bittersweet moment for sure. It's and I know I actually don't know if we have a senior that was a 4-year guy this year. But either way, when it comes down to it, that's your your last game as a college athlete. So it's a little bit of taking it in, but there's a point where we have a game to play once it's over. So it's kind of enjoy that for the 5-10 minutes. Give your mom and dad a hug, and give a good wave to the band because they deserve it for what they do every night when they're playing here and stuff. But yeah, just kind of enjoy it, and then we'll hopefully get a win after.
I hadn't even thought about that going through the senior roster. Yeah, because a lot of those guys have transferred in or came in later. Yeah, so that's something I had not even thought of. So I want to talk about you. You had a little scoring touch here the second half of the season. So what's fueled that, man? You've and some pretty good sellies out there too.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think sometimes with scoring goals, there's a little bit of luck, but I think sometimes you can make your own luck. And I think at the time I was just putting myself in spots where I was able to score, and I think I felt like I had some chances early on in the year that just weren't falling. So it was nice to get some to finally fall. Yeah.
So weekend, you've got one of the top teams in the country coming into the barn, and but it's your last weekend. What kind of intensity, what kind of passion can we expect from you guys this weekend to go out with a bang?
Very close.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's not a better way to go finish. You got a top, what are they, top 5 team in the country. They just clinched regular season champs, the best team in our conference. They're definitely probably looking to go on a run in the tournament and do all of that. So what's a better opportunity to go finish at home, beating a top team in the country? And they got to worry about pairwise or seeding and stuff going into the national tournament. So it'd be fun to go mess that up a little bit. So we'll see, but not a better way to finish.
There's a familiar guy on their roster too that could have been a fifth-year guy here doing the same things, fifth year elsewhere. And congrats to Robbie Drasner. He's now a league champ. What's it going to be like seeing him one last time here this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we played him earlier, and it was good seeing him. I think for him, it'll probably be a little bit of an emotional weekend as well, just because, he's coming back and playing here. And, congrats to him on, he's having a pretty good year. And, I mean, he's a great guy, so you want nothing better for him. But, he's the enemy this weekend, so.
One last thing, and it'll hopefully doesn't make you emotional. What's Miami University hockey? What's Miami University mean to you?
I mean, it means everything. I've been able to make lifelong friends and memories from this place. I mean, it's definitely emotional, but I'll never forget my 5 years here, and I'm so grateful for the fact that I was able to come back here and be a part of this. And I mean, it's a place I feel like I've grown as a person here. And I'm, like I've said earlier, I'm very excited for the program and the direction it's going to go, coming back and being an alumni.